As soon as I sit down, you're gonna say, well, let's go.
That's right. That's right.
Well, we could all stand. In 10 seconds, we could say the pledge. I call this meeting to order, please. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Caroline, if we could have a roll call, please.
Yes, Mr. Barilla.
Here.
Mrs. Minnie?
Here.
Mr. Plaster?
Here.
Mr. Apple?
Here.
Mrs. Trumbull here.
Okay, if we could have a motion to approve the agenda for $650,471.89.
I'll move.
I'll second.
Who moved, Al?
Yes.
Thank you.
Cindy, second.
Mm-hmm.
We have a motion and a second to approve our agenda. Is there any discussion or hearing none? I would ask for a roll call vote, please.
Mr. Barilla?
Yes.
Mrs. Minnie?
Yes.
Mr. Plaster?
Yes.
Mr. Apple?
Yes.
Mrs. Trumbull, yes.
Okay, moving on. Citizens wishing to address the Board of Trustees. Mr. Robert Abernathy.
Can the benches that were in the woods that were destroyed, can they be moved? Can they be like repositioned out where it's more in a public area? Or is that something that can just be given some thought?
Well, we could think about it. If they keep getting vandalized, we may have to do something with them.
Yeah,
You know, the one that was vandalized is not in the woods.
oh, it's not?
It's the first one in and off of Norman Road,
Oh,
you
okay,
know, that was shot with the shotguns.
okay,
So, but the other two signs that were knocked down are back in the woods, just the sign part of them are back
Okay.
in the woods. And then somebody tried to build a fire on the trail.
on the trail,
Yeah.
yeah, well, we can't prevent that, we can hope
It
nothing
didn't
happens.
do, luckily, it didn't do any damage to the trail.
Okay,
We put the one sign that was knocked down, instead of putting the post back up, we put it in the tree temporarily, on a tree. So, I don't know, we're gonna have to rethink if we're gonna have to get bigger posts to put in there. You know, I think the board is gonna have to discuss what we wanna do with that. I was hoping for the best, you know.
Well, sure.
That always comes to mind when,
absolutely.
you know, when you do a project like that, how long, you know, but I expected it to last longer than 2 days.
Yeah,
You know,
well, everyone
they put them in on Thursday, and the following Monday, they were busted off, so, you know, I think we'll need to take a look at that to see if the vandalism keeps up there, then we'll have to do something different.
Okay. 6622 State Road, all summer, there's been a tall grass issue at that location. There's also a building falling down on it.
6621?
6622, I think.
22?
Yeah, it's a building for sale. It just looks pretty bad there.
I don't know if we've had a complaint on that or not, have we, Bill?
No.
Anything else?
Yeah, I wondered if anything action had been taken on John LeBeatty's property.
I talked to him about it, I haven't been out there to see, I don't know if he's done anything with it or not.
Okay. Yeah, I drove by today, he hadn't. Somebody sent me a picture of a shed, and I don't know who it was because they didn't put a return address on it, but it's a shed that's down at Jettle Park, and it's backed right up against this fence. And they were just asking if there was a zoning, if that was okay, how much of the property that...
It's a portable shed and it's supposed to be moved.
It is, okay,
Yes.
all right. And I guess that's it for now. I've used my 2 minutes up.
Okay, thank you. Anybody else? Okay. Ask for a motion to approve our agenda.
I'll make a motion to approve the agenda.
Support?
We have a motion and support to approve our agenda. Is there any questions or comments about it? Hearing none? I think we'll just need a yea or nay, right?
Mhm.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. Departmental reports, firemen, Mark wasn't able to come. I'll give you a report. Mark and I and Ken Cummings are going to an MTA seminar Thursday on fire protection for townships and the different laws and stuff that they're changing over, so just want to make people aware of that. Other than that, there's nothing else. Or he'd have been here to report on it, so. Moving on, building department.
In the month of September, we had 3 permits totaling $142,800 in value. And we collected $1,301.25.
What was that, 1,000 what?
$1,301.25.
Okay, thank you. Water department, just a report on the water department. We're going to have a meeting with our water board with the DWSD scheduled for the 23rd of October, and it's going to be here. It's going to be at 9:30 in the morning, so just to make people aware of
October what, Mike?
that's a water board meeting for,
Right.
to negotiate our contract.
23rd.
23rd.
Oh, okay.
And we did have 3 exceedants in our water again. And they all happened to be on this, if I remember right, I think it was the 2nd, 3rd, and 4th of July, which was the 4th of July weekend. And those were the only exceedances we had, but I don't think that's going to cut any water with Detroit, with the water board anyway, but it's an exceedance nonetheless. We have kind of banked on our reports and stuff. Hopefully they're going to give us some lenience on it, because there were over 3,000 people in the park over that weekend. We got the numbers from the state park, so our actual population increased by 3,000 that particular weekend, that they were in the park. So whether they take any, knowing the board, they probably aren't going to, but at least we've got some of that to back up, and that was the only exceedance that we had. So hopefully, I don't know what effect it's going to have on our water until we have our meeting, negotiating meeting. And that's a big meeting. All the head people and the department heads from DWSD come up. We meet with the attorneys and everybody else, and we sit down and hash over the contract.
Mike,
Yes.
would it be advantageous to have some other weekend figures for the state park? Just as a comparison in our benefit?
Well, I'm sure we could get them.
Trustee has them.
We did get more than just that.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so we do have more than
I mean,
just that one
that
weekend.
just sort of makes sense to me if you can say,
Oh, yeah, he's got all that.
okay.
He's trying to be ready.
Well, not being in the water department, I just
Mm-hmm. Good suggestion.
wanted to make a suggestion.
So, moving on. Jane, library.
Just some numbers for you. Last week was Library Patron Count Week, and what we do is we have people just literally sitting in a chair counting each person who comes in the door, whether they're just putting a book in the book drop, or whether they're going to use the computer, or whether they're actually checking something out. In a week's time, then, we had 345 visits to the library. Now, that could be counting a person on Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, and Friday if they come to use the computers every day, but a total of 345 visits. I asked the people who were doing the counting to try and survey as many of the people as they could as to which township or city that they lived in, just because I was wondering how the percentages went. It looks like the percentage, actually Burtchville is the biggest percentage of the number that they did, which was 62% of the people who came into the library actually lived in Burtchville Township. 16% of them lived in Fort Gratiot. That was the second highest, and that would be pretty logical. Grant Township then had 8% of them, and Clyde Township had 5%. The other 9% were from all over the county and on into Sanilac County, and some were summer resident. The other 9% were from all over.
What was Fort Gratiot again?
16%.
16%.
So,
Well, that's pretty good, isn't it? I mean,
Yes.
is that a normal week?
yeah, I think the week was fairly normal. Actually, maybe not as busy as a summer week would be. We're a branch that's distinctly affected by, summer people, and because we have both people with summer homes who have cards. If they own property in the county, whether they live there all year or not, they're entitled to a card. So we have a lot of summer homeowners who have cards and that. So our numbers actually would be higher if this count was done during the summertime. But I think the library system itself usually uses September because they're trying to get a feel for how many permanent people they have coming in.
Now, what about Sanilac County? They have to pay to use it, right?
If they don't have any property here in St. Clair County, and for instance, we have one lady who lives in Lexington, but she owns 5 parcels of property within St. Clair County, the stuff downtown that she rents out, etc. Her card to her is free because she pays taxes. It's based on whether or not you pay taxes in the county. So, yes, people from outside the county, if they want full usage, would have to pay. Now, they have a couple of options if they only want partial usage. If all they want is print materials like books and magazines, there's a sharing thing called a MISH card. If they're a member in good standing of a library somewhere else in the state and that library vouches for them basically by putting a little sticker on their card, then they can get a free card from us to use books and magazines. There are visitor cards for those people who only need computer services, because we get a lot of those. People who are going to be at the camp for a month or something, they just want to be able to come in and keep checking their email or something like that. We charge them $1 a week for a visitor card. So there are various different ways that people from outside the county actually do use the library. And they were part of that 9%, as those people, we have, I remember probably 4 or 5 at least people who are Worth Township residents who have that MISH card, and then people from other places in Sanilac County where they use it just on the visitor card or something.
Very good. Okay, thank you very much. Moving on, unfinished business, chapel restoration project. Who would like to address that?
Cindy? Or Pat?
Pat?
Cindy can.
We had a meeting last Tuesday. We had wine tasting last Tuesday. It was very successful. Not as successful as on Friday nights, but good time. We have a bake sale this weekend in conjunction with the book sale at the library, the old hall. So anybody wants to support bake sale? Oh yes, Ruby Tuesday is tomorrow night and Wednesday, well, tomorrow and Wednesday, all day. I think there's flyers, Pat has them, I think there's some out at the desk or at the window. 20% of your food comes back to the chapel. It's Tuesday and Wednesday this month, and Tuesday and Wednesday, the 14th and 15th of November.
13th and 14th.
13th and 14th. So we have 2, tomorrow night and Wednesday, tomorrow and Wednesday in November. And then our concert, winter concert will be December, we're waiting.
11th.
4th or 11th, one or the other, with Cliff Erickson and
We haven't
Julian.
decided that one yet?
I can't, Cliff won't give me an answer for another week yet.
Oh, I thought he said he was okay for either. Oh, I
I'll
misunderstood
call
you.
him back in 2 weeks.
Okay.
And I think in the last 3 fundraisers, we've raised $1,300 or $1,500, so
Oh, that's very good.
we're coming along.
Okay, thank you very much. Moving on, B is zoning administrator review. We had a review back at the September meeting of our zoning administrator. And we were going to review it again in 30 days, but Bill was unable to show up at the meeting on, I guess it was...
It was in August that we did it.
In August and September, and Bill wasn't able to make the meeting in September. So, Bill, you want to do this in open session, or do you
Yeah,
want to
that's
go
fine.
into closed session?
No, that's fine.
Well, the review that we did, and we did a lot of talking and a lot of, and Bill was deciding whether he was going to resign or whether he was going to talk it over with his wife, and decided that he was going to stay, or, that he wanted to stay on for, keep doing that. I think in lieu of what has happened and what transpired at that meeting, that I'm going to make the recommendation that the board review. He works at the will of the board, and I'm going to make a recommendation that to the board that we replace Bill with somebody else. And I'm going to put that in the form of a motion.
Is there a second?
Do I have a second?
I'll second
Okay, we have a motion and a second to replace Bill as our zoning administrator. Any questions or comments? Hearing none, I would ask for a vote. Caroline, roll call.
that. Okay, Mike?
Yes.
Caroline, yes. Mrs. Tremble, yes. Mr. Browett?
No.
Mrs. Minnie?
Yes.
Mr. Platzner?
No.
Motion carries. Moving on, Old Township Hall project.
Well, I wasn't over there. Maybe Jean and Pat can inform us a little more. Actually, the cupboards, the closets are being torn out, the old ones, and he did tear out the chimney, and he's preparing to build the new cupboards so we can get things put away there. Other than that, waiting on, I guess, on the foundation and whatever else to do anymore.
Well, you got a report from Delansky.
Yeah, I met with him, Scott, last Thursday, and Pulaski's hoping to be in here sometime Wednesday or Thursday at the latest to start doing his part. Scott's ready whenever he's ready, so once it gets going, it shouldn't be too bad. But I got price from Nelson Manufacturing. There's some steel beams we have to get put underneath for permanent. I mentioned it the other meeting that this is the price for there's there'll be four of them going across north and south, and then there's a 22-foot one that goes on the south wall where the library addition is. And that's what the total price is, and if we get this approved, and I was hoping that maybe they could add it to their checks when they're doing checks tomorrow, and they'll deliver them either Wednesday or Thursday.
Well, I'll make a motion that we accept this bid for the beams, $1,678.68. Do we have a second?
Will you say that number again?
$1,678.68.
Okay,
Oh, we're doing
Oh,
June.
thank you.
do we have a second to that?
All support.
We have a motion and support. Any discussion? Hearing none, I'd ask for a roll call vote, please.
Mr. Ethel?
Yes.
Mr. Platzner?
Yes.
Mrs. Minnie?
Yes.
Mr. Browett?
Yes.
Mrs. Tremble, yes.
Motion carries. Moving on, new business. There is no new business, I guess. unless, so we're going to move on to the supervisor's report. We have an assessor's report, our quarterly report from our assessor. Everybody has it in their packet. I think things are moving along good there in that department. The recycling, our recycling joint project with Fort Gratiot has been approved. So we are recycling again for a whole year, and it's still the same as it was the second and fourth Saturdays of the month. And what we're going to do, we're having stickers printed up for residents to put on their windshields, because they don't want to be having to, they'd be able to sit in their cars and just see that, you know, we have our logo on our stickers, and everybody can have one if you have 2 cars, or, you know, you can get 2 stickers or whatever you need. But they're being printed up right now. We don't have them yet, but we should have them, I would think, within a week or so. And that's worked out very well. And it was the same price. It's with Boxster National Recycling, and they're out of Marlette, and we're still paying the same fees as we were. Our share of it, they charge Fort Gratiot $15.77 a box. Fort Gratiot is paying $10.52, and we're paying $5.25, our share. So it's about a third. And so we're into a contract with them for another year, so that should be nice for the residents. I think it's been a good thing for the residents. I think they've really, I know it's getting a lot of use, so.
Very handy and very helpful with the students, helping unload and load and whatever.
Yeah, if you've ever been over there, it's really nice, because they come right to your, you know, most of the time they come right to the trunk and carry the stuff out for you and put it in the box for you, so you can't ask for any more than that. I don't know how that will be through the winter months when it's blizzard and snowing out there, but I'm assuming that they'll probably carry on the same thing. They usually have somebody over there for donation, you know, for like the high school or somebody, for their kids, and you make $1 donation to, I don't know, the athletic fund, the soccer fund or something, so. But you don't have to. If you don't want to donate, you don't have to donate. So I think it's a real good project. I think it was nice to get, you know, a joint project with Fort Gratiot and get, because a lot of people.
We don't have any of the mess either.
Well, that's true. Yeah, it's all done right there on the school property,
Yeah.
so. That's about all I have. Caroline, clerk?
Well, just, everybody's heard, I think, that we've got an ongoing construction project going on at the old township hall. And so people are gonna have to be patient, because it's gonna go on for a while. One exciting thing, I don't know how many of you have seen it, when they tore out the chimney, we discovered that looks like, excuse me, the old tin ceiling is pretty much intact, and it actually coves around to the walls. It's really quite attractive. I hope it's all there. So when he takes out the drop ceiling, it should be pretty nice. Also, absentee ballots are flying out the door and even beginning to come back. We've got almost 400 out now.
That's a lot of absentee.
That's quite a few for us, yeah. Keeping us busy.
Okay, thank you. Treasurer's report.
Nothing really. We balanced with the county for the property taxes, so that was a good thing.
That's always good. Okay, thank you. Cindy?
Just a couple of things. I heard Jane talking about the library and the construction, and I was there doing counts on Friday. And I suggesting that maybe after the election is over, because that's the important thing, that we look at the schedule and consider closing for a week or 2 weeks, so that Matt doesn't have to worry about picking up
It's already
business.
booked, Cindy, that's the problem.
How much though?
Well,
How
we
much
have
is
to
it
look at
booked?
the calendar, but
Well,
it's
that's
booked a
my
lot.
suggestion. Let's look at it, because it's not gonna get done. Al knows how much you have to pick up every single night. How much do you get done?
There's 2 or 3 groups, so that meet in the week.
Yeah, there's 3
Yeah,
groups.
he understands
Well-
that, Cindy, that was part of the project, but it's a good suggestion.
That's a very good suggestion.
But
I mean, even if it was for a week,
he stops at 4, cleans up, and because they're scout troops that meet at 5, so we do have people there.
well, but you
What he's
know,
actually doing
And
in
it's
there right
booked on
now
the
is
weekends.
probably, you know,
right, but I mean, if there's windows and pulling the ceiling down and,
Mhm.
I mean, even a week. The ones that meet, I know AA meets there, we have them at our church, and if we have something that takes precedent, it's our building,
Right.
and they have to find someplace else. And I would think for 1 week at least, if there's nothing else booked except the, the full-time ones. that
well,
makes
you know, I
sense.
look at that, and that's probably a judgment call.
Right.
If he feels that, you know, that we could do that, you know, if he called us today and said, you know, Mike, we need a week in there all by ourselves. then
But he
we-
might not do that.
Well,
He would if we asked him
but
to.
I think he would say that if he thought he did. You know, and I think it's something that we could do, you know, right on the spur of the moment. I think it's you know, we have to let the groups know that are
Right.
getting it, but, you know, but it's a good suggestion, but I think it's premature. I don't think he's gonna have to.
Well,
To,
I just don't want to see this going on for months and months and months.
He probably will.
Well, you know,
Well-
as far as taking the windows out and putting the windows in,
That-
they'll do that
No,
in a day.
I
you know.
understand that, but I mean,
The interior?
the interior, I realize it's
Well,
not
when we
going
get
to,
into the interior, then that may be a different story. When he gets everything pulled down and, you know, there's a big mess in there, then, you know, we may have to cancel a couple meetings for a couple days or whatever, but I think we can do that.
Okay,
on-
well,
on the spur of the
it's-
moment.
was one of my thoughts. The other thing is, Al, if they're going to start digging up, there's 2 blue spruce trees there that need to be moved someplace. And certainly they're nothing that the garden club can do. If nothing else, if we have to, can we have the lawn maintenance people do it and move them, whether it's over to the cemetery? I mean, they're too nice of trees to just pull them out and dump them.
Probably gonna put them back, aren't
I don't think so for their Al. Don't you think they're
Those
gonna be too
trees
big?
Well, I don't
should
know.
never
They're
have,
supposed to be miniatures?
we? Okay.
They're going
So you-
beyond-
So you just wanna remove them,
Right.
put them somewhere else?
I think so. I think that's the smartest thing, because you know that there's gonna be at least one that's gotta go out on the west side.
I don't know if Calvin would be interested in doing it or not.
Well,
I
I
mean,
I can give him a call.
you know, that or. Don't
They-
let it be.
This is,
Where do you want to put him?
they could go in the
cemetery?
Put 'em in the
cemetery.
cemetery.
And this is a good time of year to do it.
Yeah.
But anyway, good idea.
I don't want them just, and particularly when you said they're gonna start right away. I don't want everybody to get there and go, oh, well, there's no place to move these, just,
Okay, now we're going to put him in the cemetery. Where in the cemetery do we want?
well, I think that should be up to the sexton since he
Okay,
can look
Sure,
and
call.
see.
Put them on the
Well-
Rutledge property.
Huh?
Put them on the Rutledge property.
I think you
One
have
of
to
them.
remember they were purchased by the Friends of the
A
Library.
library.
Where would you like them to go?
I think they should go in the cemetery someplace.
Okay.
But I'm thinking,
But I don't think on a person, anybody's
no,
personal
but you know
property.
how
No.
we put our trees on lots that can't have,
Yeah, well, actually, we've got some trees that died that we
Could
took down.
replace, right?
Probably replace them.
okay.
I think there's
Okay.
actually some bigger trees at the back of the library.
Let's leave that up to Al where they go.
Over there.
He said they would be.
Check with Kevin.
Yeah, I'll see if they will. Yeah, see if they will. Yeah,
No,
I'll
I
check
said
it.
just have Gary Brown.
Well, that's true. We could ask Gary too.
They're really a couple of nice trees, but they're gonna be too big for their,
Yeah, they are.
I had a couple of miniature burning bushes that grew up the side of our house and practically took it down. So you can't trust the fact that they're gonna stay miniatures.
That's all I have.
Okay. Al?
I have nothing else other than we took care of that already. Other than asking what we're going to do about the zoning administrator.
Well, I think we do have a zoning administrator, has a contract with us, and I think we're gonna use her for, temporarily until we can decide on what we wanna do.
Okay. That's always,
She is under contract with us too.
when is Bill's? Is it done
I
today?
would think the end of the month,
The 1st of November?
yeah.
And you think George is, we're gonna start looking for?
Well, I think
somebody else? I don't
think
George
that's
is gonna
what.
be able to do it, she's gonna be a
No,
township supervisor.
she
she
told me
can
that
do
she
it.
can do it, she can do it on, but I think we need to look around for, I mean, it's gonna be a board decision. I mean, they're hired by the board, and I think it's gonna be a board decision on what we wanna do as far as, if we wanna go out and look for somebody else, that'll be up to the board. We don't need to discuss that tonight, or we can discuss it tonight, I really don't care, but she will do it, so, if somebody has a suggestion, please say so now.
Well, people can submit names. Later. If you don't have any-
Absolutely, that'll be fine, but we will be covered under contract with her until we do something else, if it's only on a temporary basis. Okay?
Should you, and I'm not even sure how you do it, but should you go back to your motion and amend that, and put the end of the month as the termination time, or does that matter? I don't know.
Well, yeah, we could amend it. I would do it. I'm sorry.
Surprised to me.
Yeah, but if we could, I'll go back and I'll amend my motion, to the 31st of October, through the 31st of October. And then I guess also in that motion, I'll make a motion that we, proceed with our, with Georgia Baldwin, because she is under contract with us to take over in the meantime, with the dismissal. Do you want to?
Well, I don't know that you need to do that, Mike, because we already have her under contract.
Oh, okay. Well, then all right.
Okay, so basically what you did was,
Amend the motion,
Just add the termination
the
date.
termination.
for October 31st, right? So, do we have to go back and second it and vote again?
Let's do it, yes.
Okay, I will second that.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. All in favor?
No.
Or-
We did a roll
Oh,
call.
yeah,
vote.
I'm sorry, do a roll call.
Okay, Mr. Apple?
Yes.
Mrs. Tremblay, yes. Mr. Breiler?
No.
Mrs. Lee?
Yes.
Mr. Platzer?
No?
Motion carries. Okay, we're on the extended public comment.
Pat Moses, 490 Millite Drive, and if the trees are coming out over in front of the Old Town Hall, could I make a suggestion that you put in some good fill dirt? I plant flowers in there, and it's like digging in concrete.
At the,
In front of the Old Town Hall.
oh, yeah. Yeah, 'cause that's all gonna be done. Okay.
Something like you put in our yard, Be a lot easier to dig in to plant flowers, believe me.
Yep.
Thanks.
Mr. Evan,
Yeah, I just, again, have some zoning issues. I brought up either a month or two ago about the dumpsters, that revised ordinance, and I still haven't seen not one dumpster being enclosed per the ordinance. So just wondering if the board is gonna, fulfill that or not. Len's Pool, the blue truck sold, there's now a white car there, wood's still in the back, looks a mess to me. The wood business on 25 still in full go, when they don't have a special permit to do it. Again, cars are pulling in and out of there off of US 25, with no specific place to park, not enough parking. So I just have concerns of those.
We will take those into consideration.
Thank you. And it was fun at the cemetery, there was a tour of the cemetery. That was
Did you enjoy
was
that?
fun. Yeah,
Huh?
yeah, it was
Was
nice.
there a good crowd for
It
that?
was a good crowd. Yeah, I was surprised at the crowd. Yeah, it was a good job. And I'm glad that we have a genealogist out there
Somebody to-
interested in doing some work, so,
Well, that's good.
yeah.
Who is it?
I didn't catch her name, I think.
Debbie Warden,
Debbie Warden.
Part of the chapel restoration.
worked with Pat, Pat was the mainstay.
She works for veterans in St. Clair County?
I don't
No,
know.
it's not, it's a different.
Same name?
different- Yeah, same name, different lady.
Okay.
She works out at Clyde and their historical stuff too.
That was last Thursday, when was that?
Yeah,
Last Thursday, yeah.
There are 21 people there.
Well, that's pretty
Yeah.
good.
Mhm.
It was a library sponsored.
Oh, okay. Well, thank you for sponsoring that.
Nice day.
It was a very nice
Well,
day.
I think
Yeah.
we need to applaud Pat for all the work she did in organizing it too.
Our hats off to you, Pat.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And working with
Little
Debbie.
refreshments and
Yeah, it was
Mhm.
it
nice.
was fun.
Okay, anybody else? Okay, I would ask for a motion to adjourn.
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Do we have a second? I'll second. We have a motion, a second to adjourn.
Mhm.
All in favor, aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Meeting is adjourned.